Hello friends, this is Preeti Rajput. Welcome you in this grammar lesson. Friends, today we are going to deal with multifaceted part of speech, that is verb. As we know that verbs are mainly divided into two parts, main verb and auxiliary verbs. There is one more classification of verb and that we are going to see today, that is finite verb and non-finite verb. So let's get started. Friends, see, Tina works hard to do well in exams. She also helps others in completing their assignments. Her friends often go to her to seek her help. She once helped me with my English homework. It is important to help others to solve their problems whenever possible. Friends, this works, helps, go, helped. These are main verbs in the sentences. Works, helps, go, help. Works, help, go. These verbs are in present tense and helped. This verb is in past tense. These underlined verbs are finite verbs. Now, what is finite verbs? Finite verbs means verbs those are limited by the tense, by the number of the subject and by the person in the subject. It is limited by these three things. See, works, helps, go, help. These are defining tenses. They are finite tense. As we change the tense, present tense as we change into past tense, these help change into helped. In the same way, if I change the tense of the sentence, these verbs are changing. In the same way, if I change the number of the person, number means singular and plural. See, here Tina is in singular, so I have written works because verbs, this verb agrees to the subject Tina. In same way, helps. This also agree to the respective subject, that is she. She is third person singular subject. So we have written here helps. Her friends. This subject is third person plural. So I have written here verbs base form. When we change the tense, change into helped. If I change the person means first person, second person and third person. If I change the third person into first person, if I written here I works hard, we can't say I work hard. Because V1 form we are writing with first person singular plural, second person singular plural and third person plural. Tina is third person singular, so we have written here word with inflection yes. Right? So, what is finite verb? Finite verbs are the verbs which are limited by the tense, by the person and by number of the subject is called finite verb. See, it is limited by tense. As I change the tense, it will change past, present and future. It is limited by person, first person, second person, third person. As we change the person, that verbs are changing. Here Tina works, friend, go. And if we change the number of the sentence, number of the subject, number singular, plural, in that case also that verbs are changing. Here Tina is third person singular, so here is written works. Here her friends are third person plural, so we have written here go. Finite verbs are the main verbs in the sentence. They give the sense of completeness to the sentence. As we change the tense, they are changing. Now see, we play cricket every day. Play is main verb here and it is in V1 form. It indicates present tense. As we change the tense, present into past tense, we played cricket yesterday. That play is changed into played. Future tense, we will play cricket tomorrow. Future tense, as we change the tense, this play change into will play. And present continuous tense, we are playing cricket now. It is present continuous tense. It means as we change the tense, these verbs are changing. They are called finite verbs. Now let us see another parameter of the verb, that is verb change as per subject. As we change the subject, verbs are also changing. They are called finite verbs. See, I go to school. I is first person singular. So we have written here go. If we change this first person singular into third person singular, she goes to school. This go come with the inflection es. In the same way, here I have written third person plural number, plural subject. So we have written here go. It means these go, goes, these are finite verbs. As we change the person, first person into second person into third person, first person singular plural, second person singular plural, third person singular plural. If they are changing in that cases, these verbs are called finite verbs. Now third parameter, verb change as per number of the subject. As we change the number of the subject, these verbs are changing. Suppose flower is of red color. This flower, this subject is singular subject. So is, what is the verb here? Is finite verb. It is singular number if I have changed into plural numbers. Flowers. Flowers are of red colors. As we change this number into plural, these verbs also change. So these are finite verbs. Is are, was were, these are finite verbs because they are changing as per their subject change. Now let us look into the non-finite verbs. What is non-finite verb? It is exactly opposite to finite verbs. What did we see? Finite verbs are limited by tense, number and subject. Here they don't limited by subject, number and tense. They do not limited by number, tense and the person. They are, finite verbs are main verbs in the sentence. Unlike finite verb, they are not main verb in the sentence, they are secondary verbs. See, finite verbs do not have any agreement with the subject. They do not agree. First person, here we have seen Tina works. Her friend go. Because these verbs agree with their subject, but non-finite verbs never ever agree with the subject. They are not limited as per the changes in the subject. As we change the tense, they don't change. If we change the number, they don't change. If we change the person, they don't change. They cannot be used independently in the sentence. They are secondary verbs. See, Tina works hard to do well in exams. To do, to seek, to solve, to help. These are non-finite verbs because if we change the person, Tina, if we change into I, first person, I work hard to do well in exams. Here this finite verb will change, but these to do won't change. These are called non-finite verbs. If they are not main verbs in the sentence, what is their role in the sentence? They are infinitives, they are participles and they are gerunds in the sentence. Here one example I want to give. I go to school to study. In the sentence go is main verb. This is called finite verb because if I change I into he, then he goes to schools to study. If I change I into third person plural, they go to school to study. This go, goes, they are changing as I change number, person and tense. But one more verb is there, to study. That is not changing, it remains same. This is called non-finite verb. As I said, non-finite verbs are not main verbs in the sentence, they are secondary verb. If they are not main verb in the sentence, if they don't function as verb, then what do they function? What is their role in the sentence? They are infinitives, they are participles and they are gerunds. They are not function as verb, they function as noun, they function as adjectives and they function as adverb. For example, adjective, the sleeping cat is brown. They sleeping, sleeping is looking like verb, but this is not a verb, it is adjective used for cat. So sleeping is non-finite verb used for cat. It is used as adjective. In the same way, running is a good habit. Running is looking like verb, but this is not verb. This is noun and non-finite verb. Amit went to UK to study. Went is main verb here. Went is main verb here, and to study, this is non-finite verb used as adverb in the sentence. Just try. If I change the tense of the sentence, present tense, Amit goes to UK to study. Amit is going to UK to study. Amit will go. If you change the tense of the sentence, only this main verb is changing. Which verb is changing, that is finite, and which verb is unchanged, that is non-finite verb. Now we will see the types of non-finite verbs. The functionality of non-finite verbs, that is we use as infinitives. Infinitives means verb preceded by to. See how it is created. It is created by writing to before the verb's base form. To. Suppose, last example, I go to school to study. To study. To we use before study, that is to study. This is infinitive. If I want to convert this play into infinitives, I will write to before play, and it will be to play, to play, to play, to eat, to go, to give. These are examples of infinitives. For example, I want to write. This want is main verb here, and to write, this is infinitive. It is very easy to identify infinitives because verb's base form, before verb base form, we are writing to. Some infinitives are getting to, but there are some exceptional cases in infinitives. They are called bare infinitives. Exceptional cases means some infinitives we are writing without to. They are bare infinitives. It means infinitives without to are known as bare infinitives. For example, you need not think about me. Here need is main verb and think is infinitive without to. This is called bare infinitives. In the same way, she made me cry. Made is main verb, finite verb, and cry is without to. This is bare infinitives. I hope you understand. Infinitives means verb base form with to. This is not main verb in the sentence. They are just secondary verb. They do not have any subject in the sentence. See, here to write, it doesn't have subject. It doesn't change as per the tense. It doesn't change as per the person and number. They are infinitives with to. And bare infinitives are infinitives without to. If I change the tense of the sentence, if I change the person of the sentence, if I change the number of the subject, even though this won't change, this is bare infinitives. Now let us move towards participles. What is participles? Participles are not main verb in the sentence. There are three types of participle, that is present participle, past participle and perfect participle. Present participle comes with the inflection ing. Past participle comes with ed, en. Participles are not main verbs in the sentence. They function as adjectives in the sentence. They do not act as main verb. They act as adjective in the sentence. For instance, I really like this talking Tom. See, like is main verb. You can try by changing subject, number and tense. Like is main verb, finite verb, and talking Tom. Tom is noun and talking is adjective because talking is describing to the noun Tom. So talking, it is looking like verb. It is looking like V4 form of verb as we are writing in continuous tense. V1 plus ing. But this is not verb. This is adjective, and this is not verb. So it is in non-finite verb. Second example, he jumped from a running train. Jumped is main verb, finite verb, and running train. Running is Non-finite verb, it is participle, present participle. Present participle coming with inflection ing, and it's adjective because it is describing to this noun train. Say second and third example, the broken glass cut my foot. This broken is describing to the noun glass. So this is also adjective and this is past participle. The burnt toast tasted awful. This cut is main verb here and here tasted is main verb, finite verb, and burnt toast. Burn describing to the toast and this is adjectives. Having editing the video, I started uploading it. See, these two examples are present participle. These are the examples of past participle and this is the example of perfect participle, because having editing the video, one action is completed, then I started uploading it, second action is starting. First action is completed as we are saying in perfect tense. First action is completed, then second is starting. This is perfect participle. Having editing, this is perfect participle non-finite verb. It won't change in any cases. Now let us move towards another non-finite verb, that is gerund. Gerunds, see, verbs are very versatile. They are acting as noun even. See, verbs come with the inflection ing and they are not verb, they are noun, they are called gerunds. It means in simple words, verbs are looking like verbs but they are not verbs, they are noun. They are coming with ing inflection, they are called gerunds. Gerund means verbal nouns. Why they are called verbal nouns? They are looking like verb but acting as noun. So they are verbal noun. They are looking like present participle coming with ing form, V4 form of verb. But they are not verb, they are gerunds, they are nouns. See, gerunds are verbs in ing form. They act as a noun rather than a verb or a modifier. With example, I will clear it. Swimming keeps me fit. Here swimming. Swimming, generally we use it in continuous tense, progressive tense. But see, swimming keeps me fit. Here doesn't show any action. It is just a statement. It is not any activity. So swimming, see, with ing form. This is not verb. This is noun. It's the name of an activity. It is naming word. So swimming. Though it is looking like verb, but this is not verb, this is noun. So this is verbal noun, gerund. It answers the question what. What keeps me fit? Swimming. This gerund we can use as subject in a sentence. In the same way, we can use as object in a sentence. Same swimming. I love swimming. This swimming here we use as subject. And same swimming here we are using as object. Here love is main verb and swimming is gerund. What do I like? I like swimming. Is it clear? Swimming, this is gerund here looking like verb, but they are not verbs, they are nouns. Writing is an exchange of idea. This writing with ing form. Writing is the name of an activity. It's a naming word. It is noun. Looking like verb but noun called gerund. She enjoys dancing a lot. See, enjoys is main verb and it is finite verb also. It is limited by tense, number and person. Just write. But dancing, it remain unchanged. This dancing is gerund. Priya's favorite hobby is playing the piano. See, here this playing is a complement of the verb is. Sometimes gerund we can use as complement also. Here we use as subject, here we use as object, here we use as complement of the verb am, is, are, was, were. Understand? So it will be very easy for you to understand gerund if you identify main verb first. Just identify the main verb first, then it will be very clear, it will be easy for you to identify gerund. One more example. She will be resigning from a highly rewarding job. She will be resigning. See, this resigning is main verb come with helping verb, and highly rewarding job, this rewarding is gerund. I hope you understand what is gerund. So let us quickly revise what we have learned in this session. We have seen finite and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs are verbs, those are changing with tense, number and person. As we change tense of the sentence, these verbs are changing. They are called finite verbs. If we change the person, first person to second, second, third, the verbs are changing, that is finite. If we change the number singular to plural, verbs are changing. Those verbs are changing. These verbs are called finite verbs. Non-finite verbs, there are three types of non-finite verbs. Infinitives, participles and gerunds. They are not main verbs in the sentence. They do not have subject or operator. They are acting as just secondary verbs. They are acting as adjective, they are acting as noun, they are acting as adverbs in sentence. There are three types of non-finite verb. First is infinitive preceded by to. Second is there are bare infinitives also. Without to, we are using infinitives. There are participles. There are three types of participle. Present participle with the inflection ing. Past participle with inflection ed or en. Irregular verbs. And perfect participle, when first action is completed, second action will be starting. Three types of participles. Then gerunds are verbal noun. They are looking like verb, but they are acting as noun. They are coming with the inflection ing. This is all about finite or non-finite verbs. Friends, I hope you understand. Solve exercise based on finite and non-finite verbs. Thank you for watching me. Thanks a lot and have a good day ahead.